Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, Energous Corporation just filed a current report, and I'm seeing a key vote that matters significantly for their future plans. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company held its annual meeting and stockholders voted on some important stuff, especially regarding their equity incentive plan. Let's dive into what happened at that meeting. So, this report is all about what happened at Energous Corporation's annual meeting on the 11th of June 2026. Think of it as a shareholder meeting where big decisions get made. The main event here was a vote on an amendment to their 2024 equity incentive plan. This plan is basically how the company gives stock or options to its employees and executives. The company, Energous Corporation, decided to ask shareholders to approve changes to this plan. What was the change? They wanted to increase the number of shares available under this plan by a significant amount, 300,000 shares. This is important because it means they have more shares to potentially award in the future, which can be used to attract and retain talent, or as incentives for good performance. This section is focused on the personnel and compensation side of things. The big news here is that the amendment to the 2024 equity incentive plan was approved by the stockholders. This approval makes the amendment effective right away. Now we get into the actual voting results. The annual meeting had a good turnout with over 55% of the votes represented, meaning it was a valid meeting with a quorum. Stockholders voted on 3 main proposals. First up, they elected 4 directors to the board. This is pretty standard for an annual meeting. The nominees were David Robertson, Mallory Burak, J. Michael Dodson, and Rahul Patel. Looking at the votes, all 4 directors received a substantial number of votes for, far outweighing the votes withheld. This shows that the shareholders are generally in favour of the current leadership or at least the nominated candidates. For instance, David Robertson got 1004683 votes for his election. This indicates board stability, which is usually a good sign. Next, shareholders voted to approve BPM LLP as the company's independent auditors for 2026. This is like a stamp of approval on who is checking the company's financial books. The results here are overwhelmingly positive, with 28,322,289 votes for and only 3,002 votes against. It is clear that the shareholders trust the firm chosen to audit their financial statements. This ratification is crucial for maintaining transparency and investor confidence. And now, the most significant vote, Proposal 3, the approval of the Energous Corporation amended and restated 2024 Equity Incentive Plan. This is the plan we talked about earlier, where they wanted to increase the number of authorized shares by 300,000. The results here are interesting. While the proposal did pass, the margin is not as overwhelming as the other two. It received 896,053 votes for, but also had 99,667 votes against, and 197,273 abstentions. There were also a significant number of broker non-votes, which are shares held by a broker that is not allowed to vote on a particular matter without instructions from the beneficial owner. This approval of the equity incentive plan, even with some dissent, signals the company's intent to continue using stock-based compensation to motivate its team. Given the company's recent news about strong revenue growth in 2025, it makes sense they want to keep their key people engaged and rewarded. Similar to how many tech companies use stock options to fuel innovation, Energous is likely doing the same. The increase in shares gives them flexibility. The full details of this plan, Energous Corporation amended and restated 2024 Equity Incentive Plan, are available and filed as an exhibit to this report. This is where you would find the nitty-gritty if you wanted to understand all the terms and conditions of what employees can receive. And finally, the report is signed by Mallory Burak, who holds the dual titles of Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer. This means she is a top executive responsible for the company's overall strategy and its financial health. The date of the signature is the 12th of June 2026. The day after the annual meeting, looking at this filing, the main takeaway is that Energous Corporation is actively managing its equity compensation structure, and the shareholders have given them the green light to expand their stock incentive program. This makes sense considering their recent impressive revenue growth. The election of directors and ratification of auditors point to operational stability. However, the vote on the equity plan, while approved, showed a bit more division among shareholders compared to the other items, which is something to keep an eye on. It suggests that, while growth is strong, some investors might be watching dilution closely or have other concerns about compensation structures. The company is clearly focused on rewarding its team to continue this growth trajectory. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description.